they can no longer log into their YouTube accounts. At least those are the reports that are coming out from former Owozu talents who were leaving the organization because of many complaints of harassment and other such things, as I mentioned in my last video, which I'll have up here above me to the right, most likely to my right, your left, whichever way it is, it's going to be up there. And the first one that we are going to be talking about right now is Rakkun, who was a large one for them. It was a huge one, pretty much could put them on the map. 1.33 million subscribers, which for YouTube is a lot. For any grouping, YouTube or Twitch, it is a lot. They were known as the hololive of vtubers in Spanish-speaking VTubers because of people like her. She had her regular channel. She had Rakkun R, which was React's channel. She had Rakkun Channel, which was the highlights channel that she had. And she had Rakkun Star, which was her cover channel for music. She, according to what she has said recently, she has lost contact with all these three. She can no longer log in to these specific three, but she still has access to the cover channel that she has here. Later on, after we have known everything that happened last time, we had a situation where Owozu right here was saying that they're announcing that Zero is going to be an affiliated VTuber with them, which later on they were saying that this one was going to be gone, that they were no longer going to be associated with them, Mex was no longer going to be associated with them, and Zero now is no longer going to be associated with them. Why am I focusing on Zero right now? Because Zero is the VTuber persona of Owozu founder Drakeout. That was found out, of course, by netizens, by people on Twitter. People figured it out, and I guess later on he did verify it. So it is known that this was a VTuber persona of the Owozu founder Drakeout. We have him going through here. Here we have Zero's Twitter page along with Drakeout's Twitter page. They're both done as a separate entity, but of course we know now that they are not specifically a separate entity. They were the same thing. And here's the big thing that kind of started it all, kind of made it worse, etc. Owozu put something out on the 29th, which, says we understand asking Owozu for public details, that they've accepted the creator's request of not having details put out there, and to maintain everything private, which we don't know if it's true or not because it's Owozu we're talking about. The talents are saying that, they're speaking their minds themselves. So if they were meant to be private, etc., and the talents are speaking themselves, it doesn't really make sense. It's kind of PR speak, my guess is. They accepted the creator's request, but in less than 24 hours, the behavior was contradictory to what's supposed to be being said. According to them, they're trying to play as the victim now, from what I'm seeing here. We continue to have conversations with them, and we apologize for the public for anything that has happened. Nymphaaea, which is not part of Owozu, but is part of Eon Studios, she is a talent that was trying to work with Owozu, with, collaborations, that type of thing with the girls that were in Owozu. She says right here specifically, as many know or perhaps assume, Drakeout had me blacklisted from Owozu. Because of their tantrums, I lost contact and friendships. But I kept quiet because I didn't want to hurt Owozu's talents since they were never to blame for anything. True, the talents were not to blame. Drakeout was. I knew he was a terrible person and I preferred to keep it to myself. At the time, we shared a beautiful friendship or that's what I thought, until he said something to me that made me open my eyes. When he saw that I wanted to start my project, his reaction was to tell me, instead of playing at having your agency, you could be in Owozu. She's talking about the project of being an Eon studio. And he was like, nah, come here. You can be better here. So he was trying to stymie it before it even started. There, I understood that he never saw me as an equal. My project for him was a game, a whim of mine. I was under another name with numbers that he could add to his list of talents. So he was just trying to see, how can I get more money for this Owozu brand that I've created? It's a good thing that I prefer to play, because now I know that under his tutelage, I would have suffered nothing but abuse. It's a shame the girls had to put up with you for so long, and this didn't come out to light much sooner. A lot of strength to the girls. You have always had the talent. You do not need any person or company to continue shining. Now, I agree with what she said, because yes, you do not need a company to shine. You do not need anything like that to shine and to be the great person that you are. But sometimes it can, people go to companies and go to organizations, VTuber organizations, because they want that little bit of extra help with advertisements, with getting your socials out there, with getting everything like that. Here are more people that have been blacklisted and stopped from doing their activities from now on, even as independents, because Owozu has been taking away their accounts. Chessi is one of them, and so is Karma, which is the one that I'm going to focus a little bit more on because we have a bit more stuff on her as of now. She lost all access to all of her accounts, as far as I know, as far as I can gather here from everything that I've read. She lost access to her social media, including Discord, Twitter, YouTube, etc. And Rakkun spoke out about it right here, where she says, please do a massive report to Discord of KarmaVT. It's urgent. They want to invade her privacy. They're infringing on her rights, basically, because the company, the corporation, Owozu, took away all of her access. And according to what is being said here, they have bank information, they have personal documents in there, personal passwords in there, all that type of stuff that can lead to either doxing or identity theft. It's all on there. And she's wondering, isn't this a crime? Isn't this against your own terms? Why are you doing this type of stuff? It is really kind of icky and kind of bad that this company is doing these types of things to these talents. And then she goes on to go to Discord support, and she adds them on Twitter, which a lot of people do that because a lot of these corporations won't actually let you access them right away, and they listen a lot more. And like I know with YouTube, you go at Team YouTube, you can get a lot of things done instead of actually trying to email them or do any kind of other forms of talking to them. She said, my friend and work partner KarmaVT was hacked on her email and Discord, and now she can't log back in without her email. She wants to get back to her Discord, proving you that she was the original owner and account with the phone number and passwords, basically trying to get her Discord back, letting Discord know this is not right. Please let her get her Discord back because she has a lot of private information on there. Soon after Rakkun did everything with Discord support, trying to get the stuff back, Nene responded, which is Nene is the alt of Karma, responded to her community saying that she can't believe all the support she received so soon. She appreciates it so much. She doesn't want to be emotional, but yeah, dang, I love you guys. They made me cry with happiness. Basically saying everyone, all their support is making them cry with happiness. And we move on to Not VT, which is a liver that used to be with Owozu as well. She's mentioning everything that was going on and all the support she has received. In this text, he specifically says, I am moved by all the support that everyone is giving me and the girls. We are all very grateful. We feel very protected, loved by the community and our creator friends. To my boys and those of the classmates, we will return one way or another. We will meet again. And she thanks specific people for doing this. And then she goes on to respond to herself saying, don't worry, only I have access to this Twitter. For those who spoke to me worried, eventually when I can, I'll change the name into something else. So she did not lose her Twitter. She was not like others, like Karma and others who lost access to everything. My guess was that this was a private one before she became Owozu, and she didn't give any password details to Owozu. Owozu is not like an administrator on the account, no main email going to them, so she was able to separate this before anything went really bad. Not VT later goes on to say that she wants people to no longer subscribe to or donate to or anything to Funa in Owozu talent on YouTube, not because she is angry at her or she wants you to just knock her down or anything like that. It is more that she has also lost access to her YouTube account and a lot of her socials. So you would only be giving money to Owozu and the talent themselves would be getting nothing from it because they're not going to be able to create any kind of content from it, which is, I really can't believe that a company would be doing this, that would be this vindictive, but this company really does not seem to like their talents, and I really, really, really am surprised that a company would do this. After saying all those things, she went on to Twitch herself on her dev alt account and mentioned the company using, McDonald's and the Pink Company, etc., because they're under an NDA and the company will come after them, most likely, as most companies would. She mentioned how they were always pitted against each other. They were always made to seem as competitors instead of as a larger family, as I mentioned in my last video. And this is not conducive to a good psychological mental well-being of your talents if you are the owner of an agency. You cannot be pitting them against each other if they are going to succeed. Yes, there's some competition that's always going to happen, some little rivalries. Healthy competition is not bad, but when you're trying to make them us versus them or me versus you, this is going to hurt your agency and the talents more than it's going to help, which she verified when she was going on Twitch and mentioned everything. Next, we move on to Azza vgen. She is an artist who was asked to do a commission for KarmaVT. That's not the issue here. She did wonderful artwork. This is really well done. I love the expressions on the face. Very expressive. The issue was that they were later recolored to be used on Siri R's, who's also an Owozu talent, to be used in some thumbnails of hers. This wouldn't be an issue if you asked the actual artist, can you recolor this for me? I want to use those exact expressions for my YouTube channel. But in this case, whoever was the one who did it, I don't know. I'm not going to assume things. All I know is that they were recolored, redrawn, and basically used the face and redone for Serie R in this case. And if the azza vgen thing wasn't bad enough, they're trying to strike down channels that are talking about all of this scandal that's going on. Pretty much the strike sound effect is going to hit you when this happened, which is one of the reasons why I decided to make this video, besides the fact that they have been locking them out of their accounts. They're also trying to stop and stifle people from reporting on them, which is a right, it's fair use, etc. They're trying to use it with trademark infringement, I believe, with using the Owozu logo. If you use that, that's one way that they're going to do it. So I always make sure not to use the logos if I don't have to, in order to prevent this type of things from happening. So my video, last video on this, was not hit. So I'm lucky with that because I never used even their talent's face on it because I wanted to protect myself from those type of things. Moving on though, we have Rakkun here who says that they did, this is just some really bad stuff that I'm just seeing here, and I really didn't like this. This is why I put it out here. She says, those from the Pink Agency, as of course they're under NDA, are asking me for reimbursement of all my Ko-fi donations that were directed towards the expenses of my operation and that of my kitten. They know perfectly well the vulnerable situation I find myself in. This is the last straw. This is just one proof of the many that people are very, very evil and they only seek to do harm. So Ko-fi is a way like kind of like Patreon. You give $1, you give a couple dollars here and there. I have a Ko-fi as well. You know, if you give them money, it's just basically saying you're going to give them a cup of coffee, kind of like that. And she raised this much money for, you know, the surgery expenses of her and her cat. And this is all that they are, they had opened a complaint. Like the company Owozu had opened a complaint and saying right here, there's a controversy open for this transaction. Is basically they're trying to get the money from it. Owozu says, I'm contacting you through email. We're announcing that activities for the service that was paid, they're not going to be given, etc. Basically saying, yeah, you're not going to get this money. We're going to do chargeback on it. We're just going to do something to get that money back so that it's not for you. And that's evil because this is people's money. This is people's livelihood. This is her expenses for her surgery and for other things that she was going to get done. This is her money. This isn't the company's money. It's her money. And this company is being very, very, very nasty in the way that they're treating their talents. And I, as I said before, I don't like it. Here is her in her Rakkun VT alt, which is a Rakkun alt. She made an alt account in case that she lost contact or access, better said, with her Twitter account. So her alt is saying she's crying with rage. At the beginning, they didn't want to let me do crowdfunding or commissions or anything. I had to beg them to give me permission to do one. And now they want to take everything away from me, knowing that due to my illness, I couldn't work for 2 months because she had a surgery. So she couldn't work for 2 months. And now they're being vindictive because she decided to leave. You're like, oh, you're going to leave? All right, we want all that money back. That is just evil to the nth degree. I really dislike that. Lastly, on this whole Rakkun thing, she went on to her Twitch, which she still does have access to, and she thanked everybody for being so kind. The girls have kind of a gag order because of the fact that NDA and all that kind of stuff. You can't really speak very much, especially in other countries. It's a lot stronger than it is where I am, because right now where I am, NDAs are unenforceable in the large majority of it. They can still send you to court and, you know, drown you in legal fees, but they're unenforceable. But in other places, they're very enforceable and very strong. I'm assuming in her country it's the same way. That's why they decided to be very protective on the NDA side. And lastly, we come to Misrra and the other managers who spoke out a little bit. They said, right now we are negotiating privately with the girls through their respective emails. Those responses have their delays since they require an analysis of all the context. Many require responses in extremely short times, but in these circumstances, they are simply not possible when they chose a communication formal by mail through legal advisors unilaterally and by many without requesting another means of contact. Now, if I was them, I would have done the same thing. They have already shown that they are bad faith actors. They have shown that they are vindictive. They aren't doing things the right way. And if I was them, I'd tell them, yes, you have to go through a lawyer. I want them to read all this stuff. I do not want to have to respond in a way that may, you know, affect me if we ever take this to court. I don't want you to later sue me for one thing or another, since you guys are being very vindictive to begin with. A lawsuit is a possibility. So they say, unfortunately, for my part, I cannot do much more since I do not have correspondent knowledge to carry out the situation myself. The only thing I could promise you at the moment is that this will not become a W in the face of leaking of the girls' personal data. It was never our intention to reach out to the point of that nature because their data was leaked, supposedly, you know, not big things. I don't think it's humongous, but still any leak, any doxing, even having a phone number out there can lead to very bad things happening. They can find out, a lot of people can find out addresses through phone numbers, or they can just harass you and stalk you and do all these horrible things if they have your phone number. Even if it wasn't intentional, in a lot of places you are legally liable for releasing documents of someone else, personal documents that are not out there in the wild already. Like if it's a business, it's different. But if it's personal people, private people like these VTubers, it is illegal in most places that I know of. I can't comment much more since that would imply breaking different confidentiality documents, which at least I am respecting. Have a good afternoon. Now that is a BS response. That's the response that it is what it is. Next we go to the wonderful Drakeout, where he had a bit of a meltdown on Twitter saying, you know, well, they took advantage of the issue and called me a martyr with things that were not mine. Now suddenly I'm the cause of all the VTubers' problems. He goes on to, you know, say that he was already speaking yesterday, received some apologies because at no time did they want to blame me for the death of everything, and even less about random things. But, you know, it'll not affect him due to the... Basically, he's just going through. He's going through it. He's going through it on Twitter. He's trying to make himself less of a aggressor and more of a victim of what's going on. He's saying, you know, I'm going to be calm about this. I'm going to make sure not to do anything bad. I'm going to make sure he's not going to help anybody anymore. The big victim, you know, he's all this. I hate people who are like this. He seems very much like a narcissist, just by my opinion. And narcissists, they never want to accept that they've done anything wrong. They are always the ones who are the victims. They are always the ones who are the most important things out there, and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Narcissists, you don't, if you can avoid it, don't deal with a narcissist. And that is where we have left this for now. There's bound to be more stuff that comes out, and I will probably make videos of it if it is something that is newsworthy and is something that you guys want me to do. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys want me to do more of this. Of course, as well, in the description, we have my socials, and there's going to be a video that I'm going to pop up on your screen right now that you might be interested in if you've gone this far into the video. I do appreciate you. Thank you very much. This is the Mad Salvi. Please take care of yourself and protect yourself from companies like this. Have a good day, evening, afternoon, whichever one it is in your area. I appreciate you so, so much. This is the Mad Salvi. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.